She doesn't want to take any lessons.
Welcome to America's historic steam railroads. Many tourist railroads in the United States are well known for their scenic trips through mountain, deserts, forests, or even long seashores. And these trips are spellbinding. Today we're going to visit a railroad that offers one of the greatest scenic wonders as a backdrop, the Grand Canyon. Our adventurous trip starts in northern Arizona, just a few miles west of Flagstaff at the town of Williams on Interstate 40. The trip from Williams to the South Rim is just over 2 hours, and we'll travel through Arizona's pine forests, grassy plains, and small canyons. During our return trip to Williams, we'll need to keep our eyes open for the lawless bandits who are known to hold up the train. I'm Bob Shriver. Come aboard for a trip on the Grand Canyon Railroad on America's historic steam railroads.
The railroad actually began in the late 1800s, and it served the mining industry and the timber industry and the cattle industry. After the railroad served those interests for a number of years, the idea was generated to extend the line all the way to Grand Canyon to provide passenger transportation to Grand Canyon. In 1901, the railway was completed to the canyon, and on September the 17th, 1901, was the first day passengers were transported.
This is country rap. I'm going to do something too, so y'all get ready.
Before our train departs Williams, the passengers are treated to an outstanding Wild West show with music, dancing, and maybe even a friendly little poker game over at the corral.
I guess not. Golly. How many you need, mister? One. Just one. Throw one away. You gotta throw one away to get her. I got a pair of sevens. I'll win this hand. What do you got? I got 2 pairs. This feller wins. He's got 4 queens. What? 4 that queens? That feller, you stay right here. That feller right there won. He ain't got nothing. I got 5 aces. What happened out here, Texas? It was terrible, Marshal. Me and the boys just Arizona had 5 aces. That guy accused him of cheating. Yeah, he insisted, Marshal. That feller caught Davy cheating. Well, I might be a horse thief. There might be stolen horses, but I didn't do it. Well, if you didn't do it, who did? Let me get out of this guy's way. Well, thanks. I like you anyway. Well, that's all right, folks. They ain't going to be taking the train today, so let's help them up.
Gregory, pleased to meet you, Gregory. I'm the marshal. What's your name, bud? Eric, and how's your name? Well, Eric, come here and tell me where you come from. You come from the motel. Well, that's good.
I can't hold this smile all day. Hurry it up.
After each show in the corral, the cowboys and the marshal ham it up for the passengers.
We have 4 steam locomotives here at the Grand Canyon Railway. 2 are SC4 consolidations, 18 and 20, and 1 is a SC3 consolidation. It's number 29, and the last steam engine is a 282, number 4960, ex-Burlington route engine.
These engines are really maintenance intensive. We have a crew that comes into the roundhouse at 5 in the morning, starts getting them ready. The road crew picks it up at 8:30. We do our 130 miles, take it back, and another shop crew picks it up, takes it back to service it, and do whatever repairs need to be done before the next day. There are almost always some kind of repairs or adjustments that need to be taken care of overnight. Steam engines were maintenance intensive when they were brand new. And when we start running one that's 80, 85 years old, there's really a lot to watch out for.
Every morning at 9:30 sharp, the train departs Williams with waves from the station employees and cowboys, sending our happy passengers on their way to the south rim of the Grand Canyon.
Between the positions that I carry, fireman, conductor, or dispatcher, I would say conductor is the one I most enjoy because you do get to interact with the people on the train. You're able to spend more time with them. The kids have a great time out here because you're a conductor. You're in costume out here. Even though I'm actually a conductor in real life, I am in a costume, a theme period, and these kids have been watching this stuff on TV and they get a big kick out of you doing this. And going the other way, the older generation, that's all they used to ride was the trains, so they get a big thrill out of seeing the conductor. I would say conductor is the most interesting, the most eventful, and it gives you a lot of opportunity to enhance the passenger's experience out there.
got the museum at the Grand Canyon Railway underway at the same time that we began construction on the Grand Canyon Railway in 1989. The museum has a collection, almost all donated from individuals from around the country who have either responded to articles or have come in to ride the train, and they see what they like here and they bring something in or send it in. They're all railroad memorabilia. We've got a lot of material. Right behind me is the track displays. All of this came from the Grand Canyon Railway. And what we have here, this 56-pound rail is what was laid on this line to start with back in 1898 when they started construction here. And it was relay rail brought in from somewhere else on the Santa Fe system. And they set it on out. And this piece was found up at Coconino Canyon, buried up there. And this is a section, damaged section, you can see with the split in the web here, of 90-pound rail. And this is a 131-pound rail, which was what was used out on the Santa Fe line. They're presently using 136-pound on our main line out there. Then there's the material that came from individuals, like watches, railroad watches, all the passes of a whole variety that you can deal with. The room that we're in presently was the original Harvey House. Well, the Fray Marcos, where the museum is located, the Fray Marcos Hotel, had, as all Harvey houses, had a dining room and a lunchroom. We're presently in the lunchroom, and the tile floor was what was around the U-shaped counter that was in the middle of this area. When we received this building from the Santa Fe in March of 1989, the building was totally derelict. It is the oldest and largest poured concrete structure in Arizona. And as such, it literally had become a living cave because water had begun to percolate down from the roof. And then we started on rehabilitating the building. And it is on the National Register of Historic Places. We've been very attentive to attending to those details. The color of the building is the original color when the building opened in 1908, and the gray color with the white trim. And the brand new Fray Marcos Hotel, which is open out back, is the same color.
Meanwhile, our locomotive crew has number 18 running north at 40 miles per hour through some of Arizona's pine forests and grassy plains. The 1910 Alco locomotive is running with great ease as we enter the Grand Canyon Park area. We see a Park Service employee returning from down inside the canyon on his mule and pack mule. Shortly after entering the park, the train is at the 1910 original log depot, just steps from the rim.
A number of the passengers that come up can take guided tours, which we do in cooperation with the Fred Harvey Company, which has been here as long as Santa Fe. About 3 o'clock, they'll start congregating again at the depot when we'll load up for the return trip home. When we arrive at the canyon and all the people get off the train, our work's not over. We've still got to turn the train, which involves taking the entire train around the Y, which goes up by Maswick Lodge, and the new depot that the Park Service has built. We park the train again at the depot, cut the engine off, go up again to the end of the Y where we take water. We have to grease the engine. It's done twice a day, once here and once in Williams. We use a big air-powered grease gun for that and use a heavy stick-type grease for the main rods. We'll also fill the tender with water, blow the boiler down so that we can get the impurities out again. We do that several times a day. Then we'll bring the engine back, put it on the train, usually a little after 2 o'clock.
Well, hard to say. They came from the same direction.
No, they weren't. They came out of the canyon.
Oh, no, they
The Grand Canyon Railway is not only a method of transportation, it's an environmentally sound way to get to the Grand Canyon because it does help keep cars out of the canyon.
We're coming back again.
What we're going to do is switch over to diesel engines because our steamers need to go down and be rebuilt and reconstructed. Plus we're finishing another bigger engine in the shop, and that should be done hopefully in 6 to 8 months.
The technology that we use here to rebuild the steam engines is far more advanced than what was used in the old days, in the old steam shops of the early 1900s and the late 1800s. We have a better welding technology, better machines in our machine shop, and because of those things we're able to do a better quality job. Here we have the 4960 backhead, actually the backhead of the boiler. You can see here where we replaced the sleeves all around here. Those are, inside those sleeves are flexible stay bolts. Everything is stripped off of this backhead at the time, and we just have basically the boiler shell itself. Here is the door hole to the firebox. In the very front of the 4960 firebox, we have the the rear flue sheet. You can see the welds with the tubes welded in there, and they are already rolled in. That's all done. That's a brand new rear flue sheet that has been flanged here in this shop and then welded in. We're presently in the pit on number 1 track in the Grand Canyon Railway shop, and 4960 is above us here. We're looking at the running gear. This is the number 2 driver here. This is a brand new axle that we've installed on this wheel. We've also put in new shoes and wedges all the way around. You're looking at the bottom of the boiler, and the frame is holding the boiler. As you can see some of the frame members as we pan back.
Thank goodness the marshal is on the train because he heard that the train robbers might hold up the train today. So he's ready.
Got to remember, I tell her. I don't cut it out.
Get your money out there!
Get their hands up! Let me see them hands right now! Come on, y'all better get them up! You guys better get them hands up and hand them over to me! Come on!
Where's all your money?
This here's a robbery. Give me the money. Where is it at? Where is it? You want to get it back? Spend all their money on these tickets. Well, give me your tickets. This guy's.
Send them over again. Lady, I don't work for peanuts.
Yeah, well, how many was there?
Get out of my.
Take my wife.
Mister, if you don't want her, what would I do with
I've
her?
never seen yellow money before.
Get out of my way there, mister.
Let's go. Give me those guns. Let's go. Get
Marshal,
those guns.
I didn't do nothing.
Let's
I didn't
get
do
moving.
nothing. Get back to the smell every minute. That guy right
Down,
there,
down
you
through
saw
there.
him.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Get moving. Let's go. I told you I'd get them, man. Get moving. Let's go. Get them out there.
What?
Get moving.
What's that got to do with anything? What are you so happy about, lady? You know, you could have a little sympathy or something.
Get moving. Let's go.
He did it.
Wait a minute. You boys turn around and face this girl.
Why?
It's a Kodak moment.
Oh, okay.
Let's go. Get moving. Get those.
Hey, y'all know it?
Now that the train robbers have been captured, the locomotive crew gets number 18 back up to speed. The passengers settle into their seats to enjoy the ever-changing scenery.
Coming across the crossings and you see these people standing out here, big smiles on their faces, and as fast as they can reaching for their cameras to get a picture of you up there in the cab and waving to you, and you're waving at all the folks. It's a great thrill. It's a lot of fun. With the Grand Canyon as our draw out here, it is nice that we have that natural draw. But people have a choice. They can drive their car up here if they want to, or they can take a train, or they can fly into the airport. We want them to take the train because it's fun, it's enjoyable, it is a theme type of railroad. And just like I say, the smiles on their faces want you to keep doing it. You know, it makes you want to be out here with them having fun. And if they're having fun, you're having fun, and that's what you want out of a job.
We again passed the railroad's engine house on our way back to Williams, seeing the line's diesel parked on a siding, getting ready for the winter operation. All too soon, we're back at the Williams Depot, and our trip back in time is over. We hope you have enjoyed your trip today on America's historic steam railroads. Welcome to America's historic steam railroads. Over the years, short-line railroads have occasionally received from their passengers, local residents, endearing nicknames. Today, we're going to ride a railroad with a very unusual name, the Skunk Train. Located about 140 miles north of San Francisco, California, on the shores of the Pacific Ocean, is our starting point, Fort Bragg, California. 40 miles of railroad run from the coastal town of Fort Bragg to the inland city of Willits. For over 100 years, rail cars have traveled the scenic Redwood route on the Skunk Line, carrying logs, loggers, freight, and passengers through towering redwoods and mountain meadows, from the sea to Willits and back again. In 1925, the railroad started using their self-powered gas engine rail bus, which prompted people to say, "You can smell them before you can see them." I'm Bob Schreiber. Welcome aboard the Skunk Train as we bring back the memories of yesteryear on America's historic steam railroads.
The California Western Railroad operates today both as a freight carrier and a regulated passenger railroad. In fact, it is an intercity passenger railroad by definition.
The railroad operates all year with an all-day 7-hour round trip from Fort Bragg to Willits and 2 half-day rides from March to October.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Fort Bragg was established as a military outpost in the 1850s, principally to protect the indigenous Indians in the area. It was a small encampment, and most of which is lost today. There's one structure left in the center of town that's utilized as a small museum. The railroad was first planned and construction commenced in 1885 as a part of the Union Lumber Company that was being established in Fort Bragg to take advantage of the giant redwood forest that surrounded the area.
When construction of the railroad started, massive amounts of manpower had to be used to cut away parts of the mountains for the track roadbed. Large steam shovels soon had the line open to start hauling the mighty redwoods to the mill in Fort Bragg. The mill was a very busy place during the early part of the 20th century.
We run freight probably 2 times a week between Fort Bragg and Willits.
The line serves Georgia Pacific Lumber Company and is a vital part of the area's business community. Tourists are drawn from all over the United States to experience the line's historic route and marvel at the well-maintained equipment. Especially its wonderful Baldwin steam locomotive.
.45 is a Mikado 282 built by Baldwin, 1924. Approximately 250,000 pounds.
This type of locomotive earned its nickname Mikado when the Baldwin Locomotive Works built a few 282 locomotives for Japan in 1897. The 2-wheel trailing truck allowed a larger firebox and drivers to be used. The steam locomotive is always a fascinating sight for viewers of all ages. Long before the passengers arrive for their ride on the train each day, the engine house crew prepares the locomotive for the day's run.
When we break apart, when something wears out, typically it has to be reverse engineered and manufactured. It's not, there aren't parts warehouses for Baldwin engines. It's important to keep in mind that everything on that is handmade and remanufactured on the property or locally.
The locomotive requires a lot of grease to help in the ongoing preservation of equipment. The fuel oil in the tender is topped off each morning. Water is also added. One of the railroad's diesels is used to pull the yet-to-be-fired steam locomotive under the sand hopper to receive a fresh load of sand for the drivers. Locomotives spray the sand onto the tracks ahead of the drive wheels in order to create traction when a train starts to move. Even the engine house needs constant upkeep to bring it back to its original condition.
The reasoning behind the term skunk railroad was back in 1925, CWR purchased its first rail bus. It was a gas-burning engine, pot-bellied stove for heat. And the people out here in the river said they could smell it coming before they could see it, so they started calling it the skunk train.
The first rail bus, M100, is still in use today, hauling passengers along the beautiful Redwood route. In the late 20s and 30s, the line used several different types and makes of rail buses. Even the modern-looking M300 is still in use today.
I see so much happiness that the trains bring to the youngsters. The children are fascinated by trains, and it really, it's very gratifying to see the youngsters as well as the older folks, and especially the steam engine. They seem to love the steam engine, the old nostalgia. The California Western is more than just a tourist line. We have approximately 15 families that live along the line, and they're very dependent upon the trains. We also have a mail service. We provide mail service and newspaper service to approximately 15 families that live out here.
Right on that road, okay? Very good.
The local Boy Scouts use the railroad to reach their scout camp, Camp No-Yo.
Some of the highlights along the line are as we leave Fort Bragg down in the Pudding Creek area, just about 10 minutes away from town, is an osprey nest. There are a lot of wild birds that nest in this area, and if you look up on top of a tree to your left, you'll see an osprey nest. The osprey is commonly known as the fishhawk.
Some youngsters are real whale fans.
Coming up on the right, you'll see a very large and oddly shaped redwood tree. And the foresters think that this tree was struck by lightning years ago, and that's what caused it to grow so irregular.
When we arrive at North Spur, we have to cut the locomotive off, run it around a Y, After we make the move around the Y and connect back up with the train, we back up to the water tower, and the fireman puts in the amount of water that we used up for the trip.
The Y changes the direction the locomotive faces, making the return trip easier for the train crew. While our engine crew tends to their duties, the passengers get a chance to get a cup of coffee or a soft drink, and maybe a snack in the North Spur gift shop and coffee bar.
We entered tunnel number 1, which was completed in 1893. This tunnel is 1,122 feet long. It took 4 years to complete.
Observation cars once again available.
As we climb the mountain, there's one stretch up on the mountain that will take us 8½ miles of track to travel a straight line distance of only 1½ miles. Some of the railroad's 381 curves are as much as 28 degrees. The redwood tree is very unusual. It only grows in a certain area in the world, and a lot of people have not seen the redwood and seen its size and its beauty. You'll notice that we no longer have the redwoods at the summit. The climate is such that it's a little bit too warm in the summer, a little bit too cold in the wintertime, and the redwood trees like moisture and like the coastal fog. There are no redwoods on the east side of the summit.
The beautiful stands of trees and tranquil streams along the railroad remain much the same as when the line opened. Combined with the gentle motion of the train, they make for a very relaxing experience for riders of all ages.
Down into the Willis kayak area. Forest fire later starts reaching this area.
The open observation cars must be vacated every time the train enters a tunnel for passenger safety reasons. Here we approach tunnel number 2.
The observation car is once again available. We have just crossed State Highway 20. In about 10 minutes, we will be arriving in Willits. We'll be the first one over.
The town of Willits is the California Western's drop-off point for the lumber shipments of Georgia Pacific Lumber Mill in Fort Bragg. Here, the lumber is transferred to the main line for further distribution. The depot at Willits is constructed entirely of redwood, with a great deal of ornate trimming on the building. While the passengers grab some lunch, the train is turned around and is ready for boarding for our return trip to Fort Bragg. The sound of a steam whistle, the sight of a handsome locomotive, the ever-changing scenery is enough to bring a smile to your face. All too soon, our trip back to yesteryear is over as we return to the Fort Bragg depot. Visitors to the skunk train experience a unique combination of railroading history and natural beauty. As a result, the California Western Railroad remains a popular attraction and a vibrant part of this beautiful California community. We hope you have enjoyed this look back in time and will join us again for another adventure on America's historic steam railroad.